Hey everybody! In this series of videos, I'm going to show you 10 features you need to know when working in Adobe Illustrator. Feature number 1 is going to include how to set up a new document, how to create a new preset document, and how to create a template, along with a few other things that have to do with document setup. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a brand new document using the presets in Adobe Illustrator. So we're going to go to File, New. You'll get the New Document window. You can click on Profile, and you can choose from one of these profiles: print, web, mobile, video, or art. These are the standard presets that come in Adobe Illustrator. So if you're going to create a web graphic, click on Web, and you'll see that it gives you standard web format sizes. If you click on Print, it'll give you standard print paper sizes. Video, it'll give you standard video screen sizes. So you could choose a HD 1080, which would be 1920 by 1080 pixels, and that would give you 72 ppi. You could always up that if you wanted. We'll just go with the print. We'll just choose the letter size paper. We're going to choose landscape. I'm going to switch this to RGB. I'm going to switch this to inches. I'm going to click OK. There's our new page size. And if you want to turn the rulers on, press Command R. And if you need to drag out some guides, you can just click here in the toolbar and drag out some guides. If you hold down the space bar, it brings up your hand tool where you can move your page around. And one other thing you might want to do is come up here to View and make sure Smart Guides is checked, because that'll help you line objects up a lot easier and they'll snap in place a little easier. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new document and save that as a new preset. So if you do like banners, or if you do like yard signs, or if you do t-shirts or something like that where you need a specific size canvas all the time, we can set up a new document preset, and we can set custom colors, we can set custom shapes, we can set custom font, and I'm going to show you how to do all that. So we'll close this one, come back up here, File, New, and we're going to create all of our custom settings that we want. Then I'm going to show you how and where to save it so that it shows up here in your profiles. You can see here at the bottom I've added one 48 by 96 banner. So I'm going to show you how to save it so it'll show up like that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick a size. So let's say you do yard signs, which are 24 inches wide by 18 inches tall. You want to do that in RGB. So we'll click OK. And now we have our page the size we want. Command R to turn our rulers on. You can see that's 24 inches wide by 18 inches tall. So first thing we're going to do is set a new character style. Normally if you click on the text tool, click on your artboard, and you start typing, your type is so small because you're working on a bigger document. So what we'll do is we'll just make that bigger, say maybe 100 points. And then we can go to Window, and we'll go to Type and Character Styles. And then we can change that to a different font. We can, if we want to start working with Helvetica or something different to start off with, we can change that. Helvetica regular. So now we have this type selected, and in the character styles you can see it says normal character style with a little plus. The little plus means we made some changes, so we want to change that. So we'll click this little flyout menu and say redefine character style. So now the next time we open up this document and start typing, it's going to be 100-point type in Helvetica to start off with. So the next thing we can do is we can set up some custom colors. In our swatches palette, we're going to select all unused, and we'll just get rid of those. Now we just have white and black, and we can come over here and we want like a 185 red, we want a 286 blue, 349 green, an 806 hot pink, and maybe a purple. We'll just scroll down here and get the cyan. Click on a few more colors here. So now we have some colors here in our swatches palette to start off with. And the next thing we want to do is, say you have a logo that you want to use. What we can do is we can go to our symbols. We'll just delete all of these. Then we can drag our logo into there. Just say Rhino logo, change that to graphic, say OK. Now we got that in there. You may have some other logos or whatever, you can add those to here, ones that you want to use. That way when you get ready to use them, you can just drag it out and drop it on there. And then you click this little link here and break that link. So now it's just on its own and it's not tied to any other one. So once you get all these things set, you have your logo and the symbols. You've chosen a new font here for your character style. You've got your custom size artboard. So now we need to save this, and we need to save it into the presets. So next time we open up Illustrator to open a new document, we can choose this as our preset. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to save the file. When you go to File, Save As, you'll click on your hard drive. You can click on your hard drive here. You'll come down to Users, click on your Home, and then down here you should see Library. If you don't see Library, that means it's hidden, and what you'll have to do is you'll have to open up your hard drive and you'll have to click on your Home. You may have to click on Devices, click on your hard drive, Users, click on your Home. And when you get here, if you don't see Library, press Command, Shift, and H. And after you do that, it'll be highlighted here. Come over to View, Show View Options, and make sure you check this little box that says Show Library Folder. And that way your library folder will pop up here. You can just close that window, close this, go back to your document, File, Save As. You can either click here or you can click here on the little house. If you click on here, you'll have to click on your hard drive, Users, and then your house. Or you can just click here on the house. Then go to Library, go to Application Support, Adobe Illustrator 20, or whatever your version is, English. Come down here to New Document Profiles, and then we're going to name this 18 by 24 Coroplast. Leave it with the .ai, save it, let's click OK, and now it's saved in there. So after we save that, we're going to quit Adobe Illustrator. Then we're going to start it back up, so that way it'll see that change that we made. And once we get booted back up, we can go to File, New, click on our profile here, and we can see 18 by 24 Coroplast has been added. We'll select that, puts in the size and everything, all our settings, click OK. Now there's our document, there's our rulers. You see down here in the type palette, Helvetica's chosen, 100 points. We can click up here on our symbols, see that our logo's in there. And we can see here that all of the colors that we chose are here in our starting palette. So if you do like sublimation or something like that where you have to use special colors, you could set those sublimation colors up in a palette so that they would start up with your document and you wouldn't have to go look for those sublimation colors every time. So that's why you set up a new document preset. And also if you do like sublimation and you do phone covers or whatever, and you have a lot of different phone covers that you use, you could set up this preset, and what you could do is just bring in your covers. What you could do is just open up your templates, copy that. You can just bring in that template. You could drag it over here, drop it in the symbols, create a symbol for that template, save that, and we can delete it. So next time you need to use that iPhone 6 cover, you can just drag it, drop it on there, and you could put all of your phone covers in the symbols, and then when you open up this document, you could just drag it onto the page. That way you wouldn't have to go searching for templates every time you wanted to do a cover. They would all be in one place. And then you could just save this as like iPhone templates. You could save another one for Samsung covers or whatever. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is how to create a template. Doing a template is going to be similar to doing a new document preset, but with a new document preset, when you open up a new file, you're going to start with a blank page, and you can have all of your graphics in the symbols palette. You can have your top set up and your colors and everything in the document preset, but you can't have any kind of page layout or rulers or anything like that already set up. And we do a lot of digitally printed banners, so I like to set up a template for each banner size that we do, and that way I can go ahead and set up where the grommets are going to go, and I can set that up on a layer. I can go ahead and set my bleed. I can set my guides showing where the live area is, where I need to keep all of my graphics and text inside that live area. And so anyway, that way I can just set it up once and save it as a template, not have to reset that up every time and put all my little marks for my grommets and all that stuff on there. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to create a new document. We're going to set the width to 60 inches and the height to 36 inches. So that'll be a 3 foot by 5 foot banner. I'm going to add 1 inch bleed all the way around, because after we print them, we trim the edge and fold it over 1 inch, do a hem, and then we put the grommets in. I'm going to leave the color mode on RGB because our rolling printer prints colors a lot better from an RGB file than it does a CMYK. When I put the file in my RIP, it automatically converts it to CMYK. But if I start with the CMYK file, then my colors are real muted. But if I send an RGB file and let the RIP do the calculations to convert it to CMYK, I get a lot better colors. So I'm just going to leave that on RGB, and I'm going to click OK. I'm going to do Command R to turn my rulers on. You can see this red line is where my bleed is. So after this is printed, the hem is going to be folded right here at the edge of the white. So all of this part is going to be behind the banner once we print it and fold it over and do the hem. So I want to come in from there. I want to come in 2 inches with my guide. I want to come in 2 inches this way, 2 inches from this side, and then 2 inches from the bottom. And that's my live area. I also want to set a ruler in the middle, which is going to be 30 inches. And then I want to set one in the middle this way, which is going to be 18 inches. And now I have my basic guide set up that I want to use. So I want to keep everything inside of here. I can have like my image or color or whatever bleed all the way to here, but any critical text or critical images I need to keep inside this boundary. So that it doesn't get cut off or folded behind. I'm going to name that my guides, and I'm going to lock that. I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to name this one grommets, and I'm going to make a little circle here. If I hold Shift Option, I can draw that from the middle in a perfect circle. So I'm just going to do those 1/2 inch circles, delete that white, flip that over, change it to black. Now I'm going to zoom in on this, and I'm going to put that right there on the corner. We'll come over here to our transform, click this upper left hand corner one. We'll just set that to 0.5, 0.5. Now that's right in the corner where I want that one to go. Zoom back out. I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to hold Option and Shift, drag a copy of that over here. And then I'm going to make sure that that's on 59.5. Actually, we have to switch over to the right hand dot and then change it to 59.5. Alright, so we have our 2 end grommets done. And so I like to do grommets every 2 feet. So since this is a 5 foot banner, I'm only going to do one here in the middle. So we'll just grab here. I mean, we could do, yeah, we'll do one here and one over there. So I'm just going to grab a couple of copies of that. Just click on that, Option Shift, and drag out a copy. And then what we'll do is we'll select all 4 of these, come down to Align to Distribute. And we're going to change this to Align to Selection. And we're going to distribute those. Now those are evenly spaced out there. Now, while we still have them selected, we'll click on it, Shift Option, drag straight down. And then we'll go back to Transform, and we'll just make sure that this is set to 35.5. Whoops, we need to change to the bottom one here, 35.5. There we go. Now we have all of our grommets in place, and we can lock that layer. Then we can add another layer, bring that down below. We'll just call this one the design layer. So all of our design will be done on this layer or lower. That way our grommets will always be on top. So when they print, it'll print these little grommet holes. Makes it so much easier to put grommets in. You don't have to measure every one of them and try to get them all even on both sides. It just prints these little black dots, and you just put the grommets where the black dots are. So once you get this done, so again, what we can do is we can set our default character size. And you see that 12 points is really tiny. So we'll just start off with maybe 500 points since we're doing a big banner. And we'll just change that to Helvetica again. And we'll go back here to our character styles. Select this, and you'll see the little plus. Come up here, redefine character style. So Helvetica at 500 points is going to be our starting point on this banner. And then if we have a logo, we can just drag that over here. And again, we can just save that as a symbol. If I could learn how to type, change that to graphic. Okay, then we can delete that. We got our logo here. We got our text set. Again, we can add certain colors to the color palette if you want. Select all unused and delete all those. Old ones we're never going to use. We can load some from the Pantone colors. If you use like sublimation colors, you can set those up. If you have a Roland printer and you use the Roland color palette, you can set that up. But just whatever your custom colors are, you can set those up here. And once you get your text done, your colors done, get your logos all set up, you can come over here to File. You want to come down here to Save as Template. And that's going to open up where it says Blank Templates. Click on that. And then we're going to save this as 36 by 60 banner. And we'll save that. And we'll close that. Now we come over here to File, New. Click on Templates down here. Go to our blank templates. We'll see the 36 by 60 banner in there. Open that up. And we got it all set up. We got our grommet set up. We got our guide set up. Our type is set up. And then our logo is set up. Our layers are set up. Our colors are set up. So, and once you drag this symbol onto the page, you might want to click this little broken link here. That way you can just color it like a regular graphic instead of having to go into isolation mode, just change the color and stuff. Anyway, so that's it for creating a template. Then the only other thing that I wanted to go over real quick was just saving your document. Once you get this all done, you get your banner made or your iPhone cover or whatever you're creating, come to File, do Save As, name your document. And normally what I do is I'll save my original file as an AI file. I'll just create a folder for whatever company this is I'm doing the work for, and I'll save this artwork as an AI file. That way I always have the file with all the live text and all the live effects and everything. Then after I save that as an AI file, then I'll come back in and I'll select it all, and I'll do, if there's a lot of text or whatever, I'll do type and I'll convert it all to outlines. Because if you don't convert all your text to outlines, you can run into a lot of problems. Once you get all your text converted and you get, any other little things you want to tweak, then do another file, save as. And this time you want to save it as an EPS file. And then that's the file you're going to send to your printer, or you're going to send that to your RIP or whatever for the banner. And that way you've got the AI file with all your live graphics, all your live text. If you ever want to go back and change it or whatever, you still got all the live text and everything. And then the EPS file, you can use that to print from. Like my RIP software, it won't accept an AI file, but I can use an EPS file or a PDF file or a TIFF file or a JPEG or something like that. So I usually just save it as an EPS and send it over to my RIP to print the banners and things like that. And you can also save it as a PDF file, like my RIP will also accept PDF files. If you're sending this out to a printer, you might want to save it as a PDF file. And even if you save it as a PDF file, I would still go ahead and create outlines for all of your fonts, because even if your printer has the same font that you do, say you use Times and you're working on a Mac using Times and you send it to your printer and he's using Windows, then your text could reflow, because anything could happen with live fonts like that. It's just better to go ahead and create outlines and just avoid any kind of problems like that. And then one last thing is, if you need to send a copy of this to your client to get approval, you can just do File, Export. And in the CC version, you can still choose the Save for Web, like the old way. This is like the old window where you can save your web graphics and stuff. Or you can use the new way in CC version, Export for Screens. And you can just name it here. Here you can choose where to save it. And then here, you can save it several different ways. Since this is 3 foot by 5 foot, we don't want to send them a proof that's 3 foot by 5 foot. So what we can do is come here, change it to width, and just say we want to send a proof that's 800 pixels wide. And then we can click this. And if we were going to send this as a JPEG to print from, we could just say we want to send it at 100% scale as a JPEG at 100%. It would save this file in these two formats to our desktop. So we can click Export, and now you can see that it saved those two files. So I guess that's about it for now. Be sure to check out the rest of the videos on the other 9 features you need to know when working with Illustrator. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you like this video and would like to see more, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you later.